Back when Robert Walker started this poetry slam in 1998. Our MC for the night, Marit Anderson.
Wow, welcome you guys. It's been a few years since I've been on this stage. We live in Encinitas and we're here on this gorgeous night and everybody just howl.
When I was young, self-righteous, cynical, loud, and overconfident about the importance of my own dramatic, emotional content, I was the completely underappreciated community college transfer student, Rico Suave Jones. During that summer, between remedial English and remedial math, prior to my first semester at Whittier College, home of the mighty poets, I met Renée Marie. She was from France. Instead of flying back to Europe for the completion of her nuclear physics dissertation, she and Rico Suave Jones shared a mutual exuberance for freedom and life itself as they intentionally avoided gainful employment while moving from Southern California campground to Southern California campground, financed by the use of a credit card borrowed from a stranger named Baxter Johnson. I nicknamed Renée Marie the convertible because she loved traveling with the top down. She nicknamed me Quick Draw for reasons I am reluctant to explain. Similar to Rico Suave Jones himself, the convertible was enamored with his long wavy hair, his bronze skin, his status as a native Californian, and the borrowed surfboard he carried around but never used. She agreed to stay in the United States, and dude, I agreed to help her learn to speak English like, a native Southern Californian. Together, we supplemented our mutual quest for enhanced, altered consciousness with generous quantities of inexpensive beverages and readily available supplies of a green, leafy vegetable. Unfortunately, and despite a mutual desire to extend the relationship into an infinite future, the convertible and Rico Suave Jones were diagnosed with a relatively minor, easily treatable, physically inconvenient affliction, probably acquired from clothing we swapped with my former friends Leonard and Patrice. And because of an obscure immigration policy, the convertible was summarily deported after medical officials notified authorities of her visa status. Maybe you doubt the truthfulness of this reflection. Maybe you believe Leonard and Patrice should have been more conscientious about their laundry habits and general hygiene. Maybe you think you yourself are immune to the persistent itch of tiny, annoying parasites. Maybe you will remember this narrative as a cautionary tale, or maybe you will only remember one or both of the nicknames. But if the wheels of chance ever provide you with an opportunity to meet someone like Renee Marie in the game show of life, I hope you understand how much I'm looking forward to visiting her later this summer in Marseilles. That's a city in France. When I arrive, she can call me whatever she likes, as long as she remembers, even though several decades have passed, that I am still Rico Suave Jones.
This is called words. Words string together thoughts that form in your mind, reflect your hopes, dreams, and fears, but also your beliefs, biases, and bitterness. They tumble out of your human hard drive, bounce off your fingertips and onto your keyboard, flying off into cyberspace, and land into the cloud, where they remain until the end of time. Your words righteous to you, but not to all, because your lens, like everyone else's, is a funhouse mirror of distortion. Who can say what's truth, and who gets to decide? Spoken words are waves of sound, a caress as light as a tropical breeze, luring you to sleep, or staccato syllables that slam into you like a hurricane's gale, knocking you down with a big boom, a million pieces scattered on the ground. Words have the power to criticize, demonize, romanticize, Machiavellian monologues that keep enemies closer than friends, bad advice that cuts long and deep like a cold glacial crevice, catfish compliments, smooth as melting chocolate, reeling you in word by word until you get caught. Words can buzz around and around in your head like a fly looking for an open window, deeply wound and scar with only the subtlest slash of sarcasm, or thrill like a ride on a roller coaster, turning you upside down and inside out. Words can hypnotize, dogmatize, philosophize, ignite, excite, delight. Words, my words, your words, choose them wisely. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Marit. And pleased to be here tonight. The poem I'd like to read for you is called I Am Not a Cowgirl. I am not a cowgirl, though I covet gloves with fringe. I'd saw the reins and whip the hoss while riding on the ringe. I'm not a cowgirl, ain't got no Tony Llamas. My mama took advice that Willie gave to cowboy mamas. I'm not a cowgirl, spurs just make me trip. Riding along the saddle horn I hold in a death grip. I'm not a cowgirl, wearing chaps gives me a rash. Chuck wagon food is not so good, those biscuits, beans, and hash. I'm not a cowgirl, can't roll a cigarette. While singing round the campfire, there are words that I forget. I'm not a cowgirl, I cannot yip and yodel. My idea of roughing it is staying at the motel. I'm not a cowgirl, I cannot ride, rope nor ride. My horse will snort as a retort, his attitude is snide. I'm not a cowgirl, cold beers I do not try, and when I order Chardonnay, bartenders roll their eyes. I'm not a cowgirl, I have no bona fides, no gun to shoot to get the loot, no sidearm by my side. I'm not a cowgirl, but my mama milked the cows, before school and after, in the barn behind the house. I'm not a cowgirl, but my grandpa had Charlet. He'd feed 'em from a pickup truck and toss 'em bales of hay. My uncle'd cut the yearlings and throw 'em in the dirt, notch their ears and brand 'em, and cut 'em where it hurts. I have a mini dachshund, her name is Audrey Dog, and it's get a long little doggy when it's time for her to jog. Our daughter's name is Susie Girl. We often joke and tease her, because although we love her so, she's not a cowgirl neither. My husband Bill's my partner, being married's such a joy. He reads my poems willingly, though he is no cowboy. I am not a cowgirl, but I am glad we met. It might be rude to call me dude, but you can call me dudette. Yodelay-o-lay-o-lay.
All right.
Obsessive, compulsive, obsessive, compulsive, obsessive, compulsive, obsessive, compulsive, obsessive. I'd like to speak this verse as free, but that's impossible for me. It has to rhythm, it has to rhyme, it has to do it every time. I wash my hands first left, then right, then once again with all my might. I brush my teeth until the gums are red. It's good to know the germs are dead. I check the windows before I sleep, then once again my soul to keep. I check the doors, make sure they're locked, and wake 3 times to check the clock. And I'm amazed when someone needs to know the reason why things must be so. They'll never know my state of grace when everything is in its place. Obsessive, compulsive, obsessive, compulsive, obsessive.
This is no zony zone. Thank God you're gone, a lot of you, with your Ford Explorers, your Arizona license plates, horse trailers, and rented foam surfboards. Now I can get a fish burrito at my seafood joint with the linoleum floors and the Formica tabletops without waiting 20 minutes. Now I can find a parking space anywhere. Thanks to you, we now have no smoking beaches, no dog beaches, nuclear-free zones, and duty-free zones, which are a cruel hoax because they don't free you from any of your duties. So, how about a no-zony zone? Take your tax dollars with you, and your jockeys, and your bookies. See ya in Yuma, or not. I'm going out now for a smoke on the beach with my dog.
This one's called Changing Dresses. The fabric breezed up over those loving hips, a mark carved in by man. Yin said Yang, please understand. My collar is tight. I had my day. I spent my time. Now let me change. Let me unwind. Underrested, undressed confessions. Pink toy, outlet by the bed. Dirty thoughts roam down my head. Skin warm, feels right. Blankets cover an angel tonight.
Well, actually, speaking of sponsors, the Grower School is one of our sponsors. I love, are there any Grower School people here? I know Bill Harmon's here. And I love that school. It's a school that teaches world religions and slam poetry at the same time. Thank you, Alan.
Escondido in the house here, everybody. I represent the Escondido Municipal Gallery, and there's just 2 things I want you all to remember. The first Sunday of every month, we have poetry for 3 hours at 1 p.m. We usually go to about 3:30 or 4, the first Sunday. And then the second Saturday, which is coming up this weekend, we have a reception with a little party for the new artists, which we have up on the walls. Not the artists, their work. And so we have a little party for them the second Saturday of every month. We also publish a book every year of art and poetry together where the poets write to different paintings and sculptures. There we go. And we put that out every November. So the artwork for 2023 will be hanging in the gallery in December. Okay, you can come up to the gallery. We're at Grand and Juniper, downtown Escondido, and you can take some notes, take some pictures of the art that you like, write some poems, and then send it to me. That's a lot to remember, so I'll tell you what, go to escondidoarts.org, escondidoarts.org, and just say, hey, can you put me in touch with the guy who does the poetry there, and I will tell you everything, okay? Thank you.
I have social media friends on the left and the right, all going daily to their favorite political sites to reinforce their bias, then feel so pious when they post with pride as they deride the other side with unflattering photos. You know how that goes. Plus clips and news that support their views. Some of it's not even true, just allegations, insinuations, accusations, vilifications, and total fabrications. They get a temporary feeling of elation, but the result is polarization and alienation. See, tunnel vision and derision increase the division between left and right, making things more black and white, more day and night, creating more heat than light. They all think they're so right because they seek out things they already like. But these sites on the left and the right are myopic, spinning, telling, selling only one side of complex topics with labels and slogans. They generalize, oversimplify, even lie as they try to solidify their positions. That's their mission. They don't want to complicate, so they create without debate easy solutions as their contribution to the resolution of hard problems. Then you, my friends, try to achieve your ends by choosing and using only these simple solutions. Left and right, you're ripping our country apart. Look, opinions one-sided are usually misguided, not facts. Besides, there are two sides to every story. We don't know what we don't know, so we should go slow when we post, taunt, and demand what we want. The devil's in the details. Many problems don't have a simple solution. So at home tonight, visit some moderate and political debate websites. Watch people pick up the issues, turn them around upside down, spin them left, spin them right until everyone gains new insights. When you're ready, go across the aisle. Join the other team for a while at their news sources. As you do, don't look for what's wrong. Look for what's true. Try to see their point of view. Through their eyes, you'll learn to compromise. Left is here, right is there. It's not smart to stay apart because the heart, the brain, and the answers, a product of reason with a dash of compassion, are near the center. It's okay to be a debater who tries to make left and white, black and white issues grayer, but please, not a hater. Think only about the greater good. Left and right, let's not be rigid. Let's build bridges to the other side.
When you become a danger to yourself and society, therapists call it a crisis. At that very moment, you look up and wonder, how did I get here? Now, can you picture nature in a crisis? There was a time when the natives raised her, they worshiped her. They danced for her water, they sang hymns to her light, they sowed as she grew, oh, the love she once knew, she was sacred. But the natives were taken from her and buried in the soils of her misery. The offspring of the souls who once respected her are now rationed areas of land, and her heart cannot stand to see them disproportionately affected by the symptoms of her abuse. Earth has PTSD. Her emotions are like a natural disaster, and she can't control them. Even her food is suffocating, her soil on strike, rationing nutrients. She once dreamed of magnificence, a beautiful life filled with peace, but instead she has become a forest fire burning angry revenge because self-harm is the only answer, the only plausible repayment for stolen hope, stolen oxygen, stolen life, and stolen homes. She feels like a prisoner in her own element. Her hands are constantly shaking, her body anxiously quaking, and her abusers continue to abuse her, and it's a long, hard fight until she can reach justice. She is no longer green, and people see her refusal to replenish fast enough as mean. She has been cut down. Her sacred parts have been cut down, turned brown, and praised by humanity as eco-friendly. She cries unexpectedly, sometimes at all hours of the night, yet she is blamed for her inhabitants drowning in the flooding tears of her grief. It's 2022 and we're still blaming the victim and not the abuser. Why does this not surprise me? You know, the science says when you live in fight or flight for too long, your physical body will start to sound an alarm. Depression, anxiety, stomach problems all become signs for mental harm, signs that all hell is about to break loose. But no one expects it from nature herself. New York is flooding, island homes are washing away. The police won't let us breathe, but neither will factories creating death wishes like places in Louisiana dubbed Cancer Alley. Still, no one will listen, so all hell is breaking loose. Because who can believe that there's enough to go around? Is there any of the 1% who can wrap their mind around the idea that greed can equate to running out, and that industrial greed is the thief of our breath? Earth has PTSD, and nature is the offspring of generational trauma, a trauma she did not create but is being forced to break because all the generations before her were stuck in fight or flight, or dare I say, stuck in fighting greed, and the flight is but a run from taking responsibility. Earth has PTSD, and all hell is breaking loose, so what will you do to preserve the one who gives your very breath to you? I hope making a change, even the smallest change, is what you choose. Thank you.
A lot of poets start their shit off the same. Dear, whatever. To the man or woman who, whatever. Down. 1, whatever. 2, whatever. 3, whatever. 10, whatever. 10, what the fuck ever. In a world where we thrive on being different, we have slowly become carbon copies of elements we choose not to possess. But to protect our own individuality, we mask our biggest opposition, ourselves. See, we think we cooking up dope shit in the kitchen, failing to realize that even water changes its state at 100 degrees, but masks hide from the world what you don't want them to see. So maybe that's why we fell in love with Black Panther. Maybe that's why we marvel at Marvel, because they represent us, broken humans who gain superhuman abilities. We are not ourselves. Masks for the world to witness while spinning this logic and frustration, but deep down, begging for the world to operate on us with an oral castration, to rip out our tongues, to lick the shards of broken glass from the shattered pieces of our lives, because pain has never tasted so fucking good. We are not ourselves when we do this. We are literally regurgitating our past to present as presents to the people, shadow boxes of all the shit that we done dealt with. So maybe that's why they tell us to spit from the gut. Open those wounds up once again. Make that pen bleed as if that bitch was mad that her period came early and she had no wings to fly off the page when she went in a rage. Because to be a poet and on stage is almost always be in a rage. And my apologies, James Baldwin. I'm not trying to take away from your original statement, but I've been wearing this mask for so fucking long that even Michael Myers took his off, looked at me and said, my dude, what the fuck are you doing? So take that mask off and be yourself, because contrary to what you may believe, this mask is like a side chick to the relationship with my humanity. This mask is me pumping gas in an all-white neighborhood at 2 in the morning, and I can't wash the blackness off my skin fast enough. And ironically, I'm a Leo. So just like the lion in Aj, I'm still looking for the courage to be myself, but I've become blind in my own search. So tomorrow, I'm going to tattoo my entire body in Braille, so for the first time in life, I could be feeling myself. I'm gonna dumb myself down just to smarten up. I'm gonna become like Derrick Rose knees when he won the MVP. Solid. But most of all, I'm gonna remove this fucking mask, because what Jim Carrey's already taught me is that even with all your deepest, darkest desires happening, there's still a human being underneath that shit. So that makes me wonder, if we took the mask off the president, nah.
Life is a challenging dance. A tango of every sensation. It comes and it goes. It ebbs and it flows, as natural as sand, stone, and dust, as beautiful as it is destructive. For now, we remain here, living, experiencing our essence, feeling our bodies, being, connecting, creating, yet life is ephemeral. And all could vanish tomorrow, so let's make the most of this moment. Let's enliven our environment. Let's heal and feel fully alive, sexy and orgasmic. Are you ready? Let's go. I love those words, sexy and orgasmic. They sing to me with the richest energy of life, embodied love and creativity, the lust of Mother Earth and Father God. When I feel sexy, I feel radiant love for myself, our world, and our potential. It's a collaborative dance of my mind, my body, and my spirit, worldly but otherworldly too. Like a garden rose, flush with nectar, rooted in life and connected to the birds and the bees, the plants and the trees, the air we breathe, and the ground beneath our knees. When I feel sexy, I thrive with the drive to be alive, moving with strength, open, confident, and magnetic, effervescent, ready to take on whatever rolls my way, whatever way I roll. When I feel sexy, I am sexy. And if you're not here already in this domain, I invite you to join me. Here's a public service announcement. Nourish your mind, body, and soul each and every day. Nourish the mind, bodies, and souls of the people you encounter. And no doubt, the world will be a sexy, more orgasmic place. Thank you.
I haven't talked to my father since the divorce. He has his own family now, and me and my mother remain. Family portrait that shattered when it tried to smile. Immigrant mama's boy grown into sensitive man today. She is alone in this small apartment in Hawaii, still calls me JJ in her 4.5-foot Filipino voice, wants to tell me about the food she bought at the market, tells me she got the Kamaaina discount on bitter melon in a way that says, I don't say I love you enough. And she calls about the weather, as if we were both huddled underneath the same umbrella in a storm. A barong is a Filipino embroidered shirt worn at special events, and I'm positive when my mom talks to me, she imagines I am 10 years old again in a barong, left hand clutching X-Men action figures, last of my baby teeth coming out. My mom wants to tell me every lesson she's learned. She wants to protect me from all the evil in this world, like racism, drunk drivers, and the stupid white girls with the fancy purses you can get at the swap meet. She speaks to me like I'm being Bible versed to the truth. So when she asks me how I'm doing, I want to avoid the question. I tell her I'm all right, but she knows better. Knows the conversation has turned confessional, and I confess I haven't been good, that I'm sad for no reason, that I will stay in bed and sleep and cry and clutch my pillow like it's the only evidence I was here, because I'm drowning in a body screaming, I give up each time I take a breath. I tell her I'm depressed, and I can hear my mom choke up. Like she wants to run away from this stranger's voice that used to be her baby boy. She tells me to stop talking about it, but I don't know if it's her culture speaking in tongues or her faith being challenged. She pulls out her imaginary nursing degree and says, there's nothing wrong with me. So she prescribes 2 pills of judgment before every meal. And I want to tell her, I just need to talk to someone about the really bad days where I feel nothing and everything at the same time, that I wish it were so easy to snap out of it. And now I just want to give the conversation Alzheimer's, amnesia, my depression, like the ex who walked away because she said I wasn't making her happy enough. Find someone who will listen and stay and understands that lonely is a place full of cold, sharp objects, and I'm bleeding from the inside, but I'm talking to my mom. I change topics, tell her the pancit noodles I bought last night are missing something. Take a second to clear my throat because, see, my mom needs me to be 10 years old again. So I change topics, and I tell her, grab her hand with my voice, and I straighten up the picture of the perfect family that was never really there, just like the American dream.
Let's go!
The day I loved you, I saw you through a spotless window, found myself watching you in slow motion as you walked by. Taken aback by all your beauty I've taken for granted all this time. I saw your scars as beauty marks, not blemishes. I saw your shape as perfection, not progress. I didn't wince when you smiled with your tooth askew. I didn't scoff at your bad posture, nor your inability to run a 6-minute mile. I no longer wished away your marks and moles for a cleaner palette, like the futile washing of spots from a cheetah's majestic coat. I no longer felt compelled to point out each mistake, nor repeatedly remind you of your failures. A bonfire behind me fueled by the mile-long record of wrongs. I've accepted that as you age, your hair may grow gray, your skin may thin, and your mind may slow. I won't blame you when you have to cash in our many years of laughter and adventure for wrinkles and walkers. And although I've known you for years, it's as if I'm finally seeing you. Through the window, you look back at me, my compassionate companion, your eyes fixed firmly on mine. Your loving gaze warms my heart, and in that moment, I know we will never part. As I turn toward you, you follow in unison. Reaching toward one another in anticipation, our fingers touch the glass. Suddenly, I pull back to ponder and wonder at my fingerprint still on the mirror.
All right. Okay, so I haven't shared in this big of an audience, so I'm a little nervous, but okay. You made me feel good about myself, then decided to take it away. Said you were just trying me out and lost interest just last Saturday. I really thought you cared, so I decided not to put up a wall. Thought to you I wasn't an object that you'd hold me if I were to fall. See, my batteries aren't included. There's some assembly required. You really need to gain my trust. It's just how I'm hardwired. Yes, you really hacked the system, tore me right out from the box, ripped off all the zip ties and the tiny plastic locks. See, I'm not made from rubber, from flimsy fabric or vinyl. I'm not here to be put on your shelf. There is no sale that's final. In fact, there is no sale at all, no way to get me cheap, to bargain, bribe, and gamble. I'm not here for you to keep. No, I will not lower my voice or stop my constant rants. I will not deconstruct myself just so you can get me in your pants. See, to me that sounds quite silly. Don't stop me if you disagree. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I am a human being. I shouldn't have to wear a sign, bear a yellow warning. I shouldn't have to wear a label, bear a yellow warning sign to call you out for being cruel, to say you crossed the line. Here is where I end. This really wasn't fun. You say you want to remain friends. No, I say that we are done.
Hello. This poem has two parts. The first one is called The Next Tragedy. A love letter to you begins like this. Show and tell over late night calls, giggling over stuffed animals and stories hidden in cuffs of jeans and drips of water in my nightlight. You feel nostalgic and you feel like home, like I could create something more out of the two of us, our intertwined bodies, our hearts beating in unison as the breath vanishes from my lungs. I fall in love the same way most people build dreams, with every part of my being, because I don't know how to love half-heartedly, because I don't know how to give anything other than all that I have. I want to take the little parts of you and make them little parts of me until we become two versions of the same person, because I believe there's something in you that I'll never have and I want it so badly. Your hand was made out of gold and mine silver. You touched me and gold threaded through my being and to my heart like ink and water, and I became addicted to your touch and your fire. A love letter to you is a love letter to a broken mirror, all my imperfections scattered out across shards of glass and echoing back at me like a broken record. It's bound to end in disaster, and yet I'm letting myself fall anyway, voluntarily loosening my grip on the cliff's edge and praying the laws of gravity will rewrite themselves when I let go, even as I say to myself, they're called laws for a reason. I know you're not afraid to write about me in your poetry, and I don't want to be the next tragedy. And yet I don't know how to be anything else. I'm obsessed with the way your honesty hurts more often than not, and I'm intoxicated by your fire no matter how many times I get burnt. You're all things danger and torn heartbeats, and I can't get enough. A love letter to you begins and ends like this. Me, alone, holding 2 cups of tea outside your doorstep as the rain pours down. My clothes and hair cling to my skin as I shiver. I knock, waiting for you. I'll wait as long as it takes, but there's no answer.
Thanks, everybody. Viking Queen. Whales sing for the Viking Queen. She's hard and cruel and cold. Dual-headed dragon boat, 20 oars as long as oaks, pulled by 40 weary men, 80 cracked and calloused hands, pull and pull and pull again. The moon a scythe shreds the clouds, opens up a map of stars. She tilts her face up, fox fur fringed, breathes in, tastes the wind, and with a flutter of her fingers, signals to the oarsmen. Her eyes green as glaciers breaking, just as hard and cold. The men no longer warm in bare skins, ice forms on their braided beards. They strain and suffer her command. Yet with a single sideways glance, they could easily drop the oars, rise, and throw her overboard. They think that they would like to see her in the glow of moon and starlight, as a speck of jetsam bobbing, while the chill of white-fringed waves soaks her clothes, pulls her under. And yet, she knows where whales swim, guides the boat past icebergs taller than the painted sails, sees beyond the vast horizon, steely ocean touching sky. And so, although she's cruel and cold, she reads the stars. She knows the way. Thank you.
Man just wanted gasoline. He didn't want the trees to die and dead soldiers in the jungles, on the sand, just gasoline. He didn't want to heat the earth. He didn't want to lube and oil birds. And he didn't want dead people crushed in buildings, crushed in caves. Just gasoline. I mean, what's a man got to do for a little action with a spirit named Ethel? Without the grief, no strings attached. Bartender, I'd like a Molotov cocktail to go. Please, hold the match.
It's called Vampire Thoughts. They only come out at night. Daytime, busy, grabs me by the ankles, twirls me like a lasso, cracks me like a whip to keep worry at bay all day. You might say, busy is bliss. No time to think, no time to worry. Meanwhile, vampire thoughts lie still in their mental coffins, waiting for the cool darkness of night to steal the light from my eyes so they can lift their heavy lids, leap out, inject their insidious incisors, suck away my sleep, and toss my helpless body side to side as they chant these dreadful words. Afghanistan, Taliban, Kim Jong-un, nuclear fun, Russian invasion, refugee migration, endless bombs, grieving moms. Putin, gluten, crabgrass, carnies grass, old age, road rage, carjacking, Will Smith attacking, COVID contagion, no vacation, inflation, mandates, interest rates, national debt, China threat, pop-up ads, absentee dads, teenage sexting, driving while texting. This is so horrible, I can't say it. Loss of hearing. Genital piercing. Oh, God. Divisive tweets, global heat, missing bees, rising seas, brown air, goodbye polar bear. The Chargers moved. Sunrise sends these scurrilous sleep suckers scurrying back to their silk-lined slumber, while the beautiful bliss of busy begins to beguile me again.
This is called Easily Influenced. I got dressed this morning. I clothed myself with the expectation of compliments. I washed my face with the skincare routine of the person that I wanted to look like, hoping that when I washed it off, I would somehow look like them. I brushed my teeth even though I'm too cool to show them, and I put makeup on to momentarily forget what I look like. And then I snapped a picture so that people could tell me how good looking I could be, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with who I was created to be. And so I asked myself, what makes me feel unworthy to be me? What makes me want to live in a world where everyone looks like Kim Kardashian and anyone who looks like me is an error in the matrix? Who is out here deciding if what I'm doing is good enough? My dreams have seemed futile. I've tried to convince myself that life is worth living for a dream. I've been telling myself that success is the thirst for new adventure, not the things that are in front of me. No, success is the accumulation of more and more material things. Hustle culture tells me unless I aspire to be rich, I have not wanted. Unless I become the 1%, I will never obtain. And Instagram tells me unless I have the most amount of likes and the least amount of time, I am not worthy to be seen. And this is precisely the reason why I abhor hustle culture. It is because the little things are my dream. My dream is to enjoy this present moment. My dream is to no longer depress over the past or anxiety over the future. I dream of contentment. And so I must constantly remind myself that there is no such thing as big and small dreams, that it's okay to be living my dream at this very moment. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Racism. Can I take your order? Yeah, let me get that equal opportunity, equal verdicts in the court, equal treatment with no discrimination based on my color, creed, or sexual orientation. Anything else? Yeah, let me get that Popeye's chicken sandwich, dog. Sorry, but the only equal we serve here are sugar packets with our morning coffee, and breakfast time has been over with for hours. However, let me read off all the other wonderful items from our value menu. First, we have our everyday special, police brutality. It comes with a side of chalk lines and cemeteries. It is made with 100% dark meat, and on occasion, our cooking methods are filmed for the world to see. It is cooked up by a fucked up judicial system who will sentence a black teen to 200 years for sitting on a laptop, but give probation to a white teen who careened off the road and killed 4 people because, you guessed it, his mental wasn't developed enough. Or if that is too much for you, how about you try a new flavor of ice cream, Redskin, made from the blood of a Native American that had hauled off his own land. It comes equipped with war chants and a feather on top. Or how about vanilla dipped in chocolate? Wait. Scratch that. We don't serve that because you only deal with that pure white vanilla over here, because even one drop of black blood can make licorice niggerish. Or how about our everyday special mass shooting where we throw everything in a box, all fucked up, all in disarray. It comes with an AK and a miniature figure of a white man who's suffering from mental illness due to violent video game exposure or bullying. Because white kids don't just shoot up shit like crazy. Those are the Muslims. Those are the tribes of Chirac and Baltimore. So we implore that our supremacy is intimacy, and we've been fucking other races raw for years. Our fears are being outnumbered and tried for our crimes allow us to lie in bed full of blankets under lies and deceit. And Hurricane Katrina was the biggest land grab ever without any receipt given to its black residents. See, racism, I set the precedent. I even sit with the presidents. I exist in your whitewash school system with tales of a white man coming to America. But in this movie here, it does not involve a prince looking for his Lisa with a sidekick named Simi. We simply brought our Simis, last name automatics, forced marriages to diseases, and gave divorce settlements 6 feet beneath the earth. So for what it's worth, racism has cost a pretty penny at the expense of black shackled in chains. Mexicans who thirst for cold water, but are so fearful of ice that they'd rather die of dehydration. And much like this nation, this food is processed and full of bullshit. So, have you figured out what you wanted to order? Yeah, let me get that order. Reparations, 40 acres and a mule in here. Take this slap to the face to black. Both your eyes drip red, blows from your nose and bruise your skin purple. See? Now you color like me.
All right. This poem is called Let's Listen to the Experts. Let's listen to the experts. They went to school for this. They studied, they focused, they dedicated their time and energy in pursuit of specialized knowledge and expertise. They've worked hard for this opportunity for us to listen to them. Let's listen to the experts. The experts always see the full picture. They always connect the dots. They are honest and trustworthy. They never make mistakes. They have absolutely no vested interests, and they undoubtedly have our best interests at heart. Let's listen to the experts. There's no need for questioning or hesitation or concern. Pay no mind to your ancestral wisdom or your gut intuition. You didn't go to school for this, and school is where you learn everything that you need to know. But rest assured, we have the experts, and history proves that the experts are always right. So let's listen to the experts, and let's let the experts guide us. Thank you.
Forcibly eliminating our way of life they are. Systematically hunting down Jedis of all ages. Darth is code word for officer on other planets. Vader, behind a mask he does not hide, hides he must behind a badge. They say they are doing this for your protection. Human they are not, but by the names you gave them. Philando Castile, Alton Sterling. Innocent until proven guilty isn't implemented if the melanin is iffy. Dred Scott strikes back in the return of Jim Crow. Meteorites play injustice like still burning crosses under the sound bites of Sean Hannity. Taking Kessel runs from threats in 5 parsecs justify shots in the back, so we dismiss Greedo cops with pay and ask who shot first. Han Solo in carbonite like guns in carbon fiber barrels. Statues are Confederate rebels, or like Jabba's trophies in the Deep South. Target Jedi women, Never cast in front page news, so we bury it in the back pages. Sandra Bland's settlement at a discounted price. Human life is half the cost, so we can call it Black Friday. In a galaxy far, far away, Alderaan it was called today. Call it Ferguson, or Sacramento, or San Diego. Not exclusive when Jedi lives matter. Matters not the color of Justice Smollett when you've always been a card-carrying member of the Empire. Begin last rites with words, shots fired, so unlearn you must. Only hope you are. Woo!
What is this space? This sacred arena at the core of my being, the place I can feel but not touch. What is this space? How can I begin to study or define it? Like trying to capture the essence of wind in a mason jar. Without shape or form, all of its beauty and power and mystery vanish once I begin to contain it. What is this space where music is born, where the choreography of my dance originates? What moves me when a piano sings solo and soprano? What moves me when others stand still? What moves me to feed the hungry and to dream alongside Quixote and Martin? What is this space where your words and your art and your story resonate within me, where memories and love leave their mark, where I write from, and where life stories are written in me, where time goes when we connect, where time slows when the sun sets, where mystery and wisdom, vulnerability and strength live together in perfect harmony, where I carry the resilient character of my ancestors, where I will forever carry my children when I can no longer cradle them in my arms, where God whispers insight and understanding beyond my years, where children play all day long, this endless space of giving and receiving in and out until my final breath, each exchange leaving distinguishable marks as numerous and brilliant as the stars. This space where our hearts break, where walls are built, where bricks of hurt and disenchantment sealed with the mortar of silence, where I sometimes go dark, desensitized to beauty, immune to the joy that life offers, heavy and cold at my core, like the self-preservation of a tulip at dusk. This space where the windows you create cut the darkness, where light and love and learning chip away at the clay barriers piece by piece until dawn arrives and I am ready to absorb the radiant beams of another day.
In her book, The Artist's Way, Julie Cameron wrote, "Timid young writers often give up their sunny dreams of artistic careers, settling into the twilight world of could-have-beens and regrets. In college, I decided not to be a writer and chose a more stable career. This is called I Refuse My Muse." On my 18th birthday, half excited, half afraid, I entered adulthood and my first nude strip club. A sign on the green door proclaimed, "Dancing today only from Greece, the divine and lyrical muse." Inside the dark room, I sat down near a dimly lit runway. Suddenly, she was there, a bright celestial light. For me, the yellow ceiling lights flickered, the silver dancing pole glowed white hot, the stage floor buckled and unbuckled in harmonic waves. Then she bared herself for me to see a future with her. The music soared a heavenly chord and quickly stopped as she descended over the brass rail into my lap. A gasp snapped my spine into a sea. I felt her breasts on my chest, where my heart boiled blood next to my frozen lungs. I felt her hair on the back of my neck, raising my little soldiers there. Her fingers kissed my face, which burned red with desire and dismay. Her eyes promised mine perpetual pleasures. Then through two moist roses, she said softly, "Would you like a private dance?" Who prepares for life? Changing questions from goddesses. Trembling like a September leaf 9 seconds from the fall, I choked. What does that mean? Well, she said softly, "If you come with me, your life will be changed for measure. I promise you passion and I'm going to get this right. Well, she whispered, for an ordinary dance, you stay where you are. That costs nothing. But if you join me behind the curtain for the right price, anything is possible. Unearthly urges begged me to let her take my hand and lead me to passion, transform me to the man I was destined to be. But from somewhere, a parent warned, it will cost too much. You're not ready, not good enough. You'll be rejected, ridiculed. That moment I learned I was not a man to climb mountains. Doubt trumped desire, and I failed the test because I feared I would fail. I trudged into the now dark night, cursed the car that would take me back to the familiar, and drove away with a new companion who sang for me daily to the lyrics of what if, and if only, if only. Now, 40 ordinary years later, half excited, half afraid, I enter retirement and pick up a pen.
I remember the first time that I made Final Stage. I was excited as Johnny Depp when he won his trial against Amber Heard. I prepared thoroughly. In the words of my deceased grandmother, those who clean on the daily don't have to rise up on a Saturday morning, meaning if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. My competitor was spitting like I never heard a poet spit before. His low was a 9.4, and then a 9.7, and then a 10, and then a 10, and then another 10. This shit was literally killing me. He was hitting bar after bar with no drinks purchased, and for the first time in my life, I thought I had no chance of winning. Then the lights hit me, and I saw that I was in the biggest battle I will ever be in my life. Do you know what it's like when your heart pumps out the metaphors through the oxygen tube that is going down your throat? Have your pectoral muscle stage presence all of a sudden become uptight? Do you know what it's like when they put a metal microphone stand implanted into your chest, making you the new Black Tony Stark? And while you thinking you're Iron Man, you know that Thanos is one snap away from cutting your arc reactor off. Have you ever had a surgeon use a microphone as his weapon, and you just hope that during your performance that the sound check from the engineer isn't faulty, because on this stage here, a dead mic means a dead poet? November 4th, 2010. I made final stage with 5 random judges who thought I was just a poet with a lucky streak until I hit a 10, 10, 10, 10, and a 9.5, thus negating the perfect performance. And I was pissed until I realized I flinched when the catheter was poured out my dick and I was named the runner-up of the cardiac slam. Damn, I did all this work for second place, and I was mad until I realized that grand prize was a date with Jesus. Jesus. This became the hardest piece that I never wrote. More so, it became the only time I ever trusted another man's pen to write for me. But I was cool with having ghostwriters when you consider many in my position became spirits, even though me and the dead have had a long-standing relationship. See, true story, I'm the son of a mortician. I grew up seeing the coffin as the most comfortable bed, and graveyards to me was the most best place on fucking earth. You see, I was always meeting different people. The grass was always green, and hide and seek was lit as fuck. Usually I would play with these large groups that come dressed in all black, and I hide behind these big-ass stones, and even on my 10 count, they still couldn't find me. But I grew up to realize that cemeteries are the biggest gardens on earth with the most seeds that never got the chance to sprout. So I promise you slam heads one thing: I will write, I will memorize, I will literally put my heart into this, because I remember a time when my heart could give nothing. And if you see me pull out my phone, just know it's not because my words aren't dialed in. I may be calling 911, because on this stage here, if my heart forgets his next line, it's a low score and a flat line. November 4th, 2010. I made final stage, and it's the only time I've ever been happy with receiving second place.
In the Bible, God asks us to be workmen. Workman comes from the Greek meaning artist or poet, so when you think about it, we are God's poetry. But I've been writing about way too many heavy things lately. Too many scribbles on political commentary and personal heartbreak that I don't write lines anymore. I bruise paper with my pen. And while it's often a poet's craft to slowly slide into those undefined vulnerabilities that make dictionaries stutter, I'm tired. I'm tired of choking the onomatopoeia out of inanimate objects and taking iambic pentameter and measuring how many burdens I can hold on these shoulders. My humanity has become so hollowed out, I can't recognize my natural voice, and my soul is an echo of regret. Been shut in by COVID, so my calendar is a breakup letter to potential, and wearing masks has covered more than just smiles. They've made happiness disappear. So in order to get rid of this apathy, I have decided to have a garage sale of unfinished, depressed poems. I'll take whatever you got, cash, coin, check, EBT, NFT, currency, hugs, because fuck elbow and fist bumps. And I know we're in a pandemic and I don't want to die, but I want to live. So right here, I want to sell this notebook of incomplete lines on social justice, just pages of pieces that look like dust particles of neglect and sound like a dying atheist prayer, praying for an answer that feels like home. I want to sell this yellow notepad of half poems and half lecture notes. If you can braille the poems in the margins, you'll get caught reflecting on this girl who sat in the back of the class, who wore long sleeves all the time, who tried to cry herself into color. It's funny. It's funny how silence is like giving a razor-tip paintbrush to an artist eager to canvas her skin with her left wrist. So I want to make a list about happy poems and happy shit. Like, I want to write about old school video games, spit lines in 16-bit images. I want to write poems about Double Dragon or Contra or Super Mario Brothers, where struggle meant fighting through finger cramps and solutions are found by pressing up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Or I got it. I want to reflect on first times. Determine which one was more earth-shattering. The first time, I got this one. The first time I realized that we are all made of stardust. No, I got it. The first time her smile dropped me to one knee. No, I got it. The first time I had a California burrito. Oh, no. The first time I heard spoken word poetry on YouTube, because that was like making best friends with the voices in my head. See, I want to savor humanity, hear poetry I can eat with a spoon and taste the words, and make this stage floor trampoline with the excitement of being spoken again. I just want to be God's poetry. Thank you.
All right. We're thanking everybody. Billy Stewart, Saint-Tropez, Java Hut, Mike Romero, and Olivia Wheeler, Grower School, Danny Salzhandler, Awaken the Poet Within, our group, and Poets Inc., Robert, Poets Inland North County. Okay, are we ready now? We have, this is so exciting. You know, I still have my bucket when I won second place here. Third place is Joe Limer. No. Oh.
That's third place, Brad. Oh, sorry.
This is like that.
I'm sorry.
That Academy Awards weirdness. Okay.
First, second, third.
First, second, third, but
Brad's third.
but they do it like opposite. Okay.
Come on up, Brad.
First, second, third. So Brad is third.
Third place.
Congratulations, Brad.
$118. Second place.
Okay, second place is Joe Mack.
You said it would be second. $176.
All right. Hey, what do we get? What did third place get?
No.
All right. Okay, and our winner, first place tonight, is Joe Limer.
They got $294 and a Costco card.
Congratulations.